Hey there, and welcome to the 5th video now in the series. Today we're going to be discussing one of the more advanced techniques of carbohydrate cycling, and how that can really help boost and increase your amount of fat burning, and also help you remain lean completely throughout the year. So let's get cracking with that then. Now, what is carb cycling? First of all, it's a technique you've probably not heard of unless you kind of look into these kinds of things. It's not something that's really common knowledge, really, because what you've probably been told to do, and quite rightly, is you've been told to avoid the starchy kind of carbohydrates and eliminate all carbs to lose weight, and that is a really effective technique to drop weight really quickly. But the problem is maintaining that in the long term is almost impossible. And most low carb dieters will put all that weight back on and more, shortly after they've kind of lost it in the first place. So what I'll like to help my clients and help anyone do is to lose weight and make sure that it's permanent weight loss. So you've probably avoided carbs in the past. And it is true that too many carbs equals too much body fat, so that's what I've already said. But the problem and the mistake that everybody makes is to completely avoid carbs altogether and become a low carb dieter. So let me explain a little bit more in depth why then. So if you think of your muscles as a fuel tank, and your muscles store fuel as glycogen. They store glycogen as your body's fuel. So it's basically sugar stored in your muscles to give your body energy. So that's what your muscles are there for. If you eat too many carbs, your fuel tanks actually become full, and if your fuel tank's full, then if you're still giving it too many carbs, giving it too much fuel, the body has to store it somewhere, so it will actually store it as fat. Your body will create more fat cells to store that sugar in, because your fuel tanks are full, your muscles are full. On the opposite side of that, if you eat too few amount of carbs, your fuel tanks will actually become empty. You'll start to feel weak, tired, and you'll run sluggishly. And that's when you kind of hit a fat loss plateau. You'll probably lose a lot of body fat if you eat low carb for a while, but you'll hit a bit of a plateau and stop being able to lose all of that weight. So this is what you need to do. This is what carb cycling actually is. If you eat low carb for more than 4 to 7 days, you suppress your fat burning hormones, those being T3, which is your thyroid hormone, and leptin. They're real massive big drivers in metabolism and fat burning hormones. So if you suppress those, then your chances of burning body fat are really slim. Not only are they slim, but it's almost impossible to burn fat with those hormones being so suppressed. So this is what you need to do, and this is why we use carb cycling. You need to add in a strategic cheat meal or high carb days, so your body can actually restore those levels of hormones. I'll give you an example of that. What I typically recommend is to eat 5 to 6 days of low carbs. So you might go Monday to Friday and Monday to Saturday with the low carb meals, and then you'd have 1 or 2 moderate or high carb days. So you might have Saturday as your high carb day, and then Sunday is like a moderate carb day. And it's as simple as that. Monday to Friday you'd go low carb. Saturday, Sunday, use your weekends to kind of enjoy yourself with the foods, have a little bit more of treats, your takeaways, whatever it might be, your pizza, whatever it is that you enjoy, to have your high carb days. And that way your body can actually remain as a fat burning machine. So you can still burn fat even though you're eating those kinds of foods, but those foods will actually replenish and restore those levels of hormones within just one high carb meal. So it's really important to get those high carb meals in at least once a week. And then if you eliminate them for the rest of the week, your body's gonna continue to burn fat throughout that time, and you're going to be able to easily maintain that lean physique that you're after. Okay, so simple as that. A little bit more info on carbs. The best time to eat any of your carbohydrates is directly after your workouts. and ideally within 1 hour. Now, as I've already said, your muscles actually store those carbs, those sugars, as fuel inside the body. Now, if you've just done a workout, you've used a lot of that fuel that inside the muscles, that glycogen stores inside the muscles will actually become depleted. So if you eat a high carb meal directly after your workout, all you're doing is replenishing. Those carbs will go to replenish the muscle fuel, so they'll go as glycogen. They'll get stored in the muscles because those are depleted. So any carbs that you take on after that will just restore your fuel tanks, and they won't get stored as fat. But if you sit around on your backside all day, you've been at work all day, or you're sitting around and you come back and sit around at night and you have a high carb meal, your fuel tanks are full already because you haven't been depleted. They haven't been depleted. So all you're doing is adding more to your fat stores by eating those starchy carbs. So remember this then: eliminate carbs Monday to Friday. Saturday have a high carb cheat meal. Sunday have more of a moderate carb cheat meal, and Monday back straight on it, low carbs again. Keep on that kind of cycling of carbohydrates, and you'll definitely get your success. Okay. So any more information on that or any other subjects we've covered, go to the rapidfatlossblueprint.com, or if you want to ask me any questions and again get more content and more information, visit facebook.com/rapidfatlossblueprint. Just like the page there and type me a message if you have any questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Speak soon, and I look forward to sharing the next video in this series, which is going to be on supplementation, so make sure you check that one out.